This video was taken at the Windhaven Neuroscience Plaza in Plano, which is under construction in July of 2006. The first 2 minutes of the video show the technique for establishing a level horizontal line for location of the bottom interlocking channel on the building. The man in the basket will drop a tape, a measuring tape, and then there'll be another member of the crew with a level telling him to raise or lower the tape. When the tape is at the proper elevation, a mark is made on the face of the tieback membrane. This is the location for the bottom edge of the lower interlocking channel. Now the two men in the basket will install the bottom interlocking channel, attaching through the weather barrier and through the sheathing with self-drilling, self-tapping screws. They reach behind the framing to find a stud, or they can feel through the tieback to locate screws attaching the sheathing. Then they measure 16" on center to locate the remaining studs. The panels to be set are over 30" in height, so there is an interlocking channel attachment at the bottom, at the mid-height, and at the top. After the bottom interlocking channel was set, the crew will use short story poles to locate the middle interlocking channel. In the next 10-minute segment, the crew boomed down to set a panel on the outriggers at the front of the basket. They boom up to the installation location, and there are mating interlocking channels on the back side of every panel. This panel is set up on the wall and then pushed down so the bottom and mid-height interlocking channels engage. The top attachment is a joint channel. The upper leg of the joint channel, which is located above the stone, is then attached through the tieback, through the exterior gyp sheathing, to the steel stud behind. The first panel installation is now complete, and the two men use different height story poles to set the next center interlocking channel for the next panel. Then the crew installed the second panel by engaging the bottom and mid-height interlocking channels on the back side of the StoneLite limestone panel. Before screw attaching the top joint channel, which is the gravity connection, they insert 3/8" deep shims at the horizontal joint to gauge the joint height dimension. They check around the corner to adjust the panel location. This panel has to be set so it will be flush with the panels on the other side of the building. It took about 10 minutes to set the first two panels. Actually, it took a total of about 15 minutes, including attachment of the two bottom interlocking channels before they started setting stone. The joint channel at the top of this second panel is now attached using self-drilling, self-tapping screws. This is a view of the building with some panels installed. There's a void above the windows where a metal band will later be attached. This is a three-man crew. One man brings panels from the crates that are numbered, and every panel has a number. There's a number on a corresponding shop drawing to show them where the panels are to be located. The crew of two now will boom up into location, set the panel. You notice they have shims at the bottom to be sure that the caulk joint height is correct. They check for level, and then they screw attach the top interlocking channel. He's measuring in at the jamb to find the stud that is in from the jamb, so he knows where to make the screw attachment. That entire operation took about 5 minutes from the time they started setting the center interlocking channel until they totally finished that panel. So they're getting about 12 panels per hour. They have to attach two interlocking channels here because the top of this panel comes to a metal plate or metal reveal, and that's going to be installed later. So there is a finished return to the top of the panel. They don't have a joint channel. Where there are two panels and one is smaller, the smaller panel will be put inside the basket. If they were setting pieces that would be 12 square foot or less, so the panel weight would be 50 pounds or less, most often it will be one person in the basket only rather than two. Here they have set the first small panel, and then they'll set bring the next panel out, put it into location. They'll put shims between those two panels to obtain the 3/8 inch wide caulk joint, and of course shims at the bottom to be sure that the caulk joint there is correct. Then also check the top for level before proceeding. You can adjust the panel location with a block of 2x4 and a rubber mallet. If you use anything heavier than that, there can be damage to the stone from trying to move it over. August 5th, 2006, and I'm at the Windhaven building in Plano, Texas. This crew is making a round trip, picking up panels and setting a round trip about every 5 to 6 minutes. And so if they're setting 1.5 panels, sometimes one and sometimes two panels in 5 or 6 minutes, they'd be setting somewhere around 100 pieces in an 8-hour day.